Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do a slightly different video today. It's going to be on the Naviter Oudie N versus the Naviter Omni, which has just been released, and I think I'm going to try and answer some of the questions that you might have around it, or at least that I had. It's not a sponsored video, I've not got these for free, but I will give a shout out to the Sick and the Wrong who supplied me with both devices. So I'll unbox the Omni here. Comes in quite nice packaging. Instructions on in a nice carry case, charge cable. This is a 65-watt European charger and a SIM card removal pin for if you put a SIM card in the device. Cable's nice braided, so that's going to last a long time, same as the Oudie N comes with. We'll get right into the device. So that's the device itself. Comes with a Velcro cut out to put on the back of it and then stick onto your flight deck. So the device itself is 220 grams, 97 millimeters wide by 71 in height and 25 deep. You can see on the side we've got the same pattern buttons as the Oudie N, volume buttons, power on and off. On the top here we have a camera for scanning QR codes for tasks, the additional floor aerial inside here, and on the bottom the USB charging and data port and slots for a SIM card. So I'll give you a comparison here between the sizes of the Omni and Oudie N. Check out the Sick and the Wrong, your go-to shop for paragliding. Always stocked with expert advice and top-notch service. Visit sickandwrong.co.uk. I'll power both devices on and you can see the screen brightness on both as well as the screen quality. So you can see here that both devices are now on and have a mapping screen on. You can see the difference between the instruments that are shown on there. That's just a setup that I like, and I like it in portrait. I feel like you can see more ahead of you while flying than in landscape view, just a personal preference. The instruments are definitely smaller on the Omni, but then so is the design. Here you're going to be hiking flying with this device primarily, so you may not need as much stuff on the screen, but you can have a second screen if you do need more instruments, and I've created a second screen here which just changed the bottom slightly. You can see it is much smaller there, or just an example screen here where you could have more stats on in a different readable format. Back to the original screen. So it is smaller, but it is still readable. So the resolution is good on both devices. The instruments and maps scale nicely across both of them, and your layouts on screen sync in the cloud and go seamlessly across to both devices. So I'll switch both of the devices into landscape mode so you can see how the instruments are displayed on there if that's the style that you like. So I can see the differences there, and if I zoom out on the maps, you can see this Omni looks quite busy with lots of instruments on there compared to the Oudie N, but that's the device you buy. You know what you're getting there. If you want lots and lots of instruments, get the Oudie N. But again, you can have multiple pages, so it's not necessary that you have to have the Oudie N for the bigger screen. So I'll flip back into portrait mode and I'll just give you an overview of the menus, but I'm not going to go through the software as it's been available for a while. It's mainly just about the new format of the Omni. So you can see the menu doesn't quite have all the same stuff on, but it's only missing one layer, so that's fine. We've got the new hike and fly mode there. Logbooks display nicely, and back to flight mode. So my initial thoughts for the device are that it's great. I'm going to use it for the rest of the season, and I think they've hit the nail on the head with the weight, size, and shape of the device. I can run this portrait on my flight deck, which is my preferred method rather than landscape. I feel like you can see a little bit more of header view, and the instruments that are displayed on the screen are big enough to read, and you can have multiple pages if you want to have lots more on there. So if you have any questions, drop me in the comments below and I'll try and answer them for you. Since making this video, I've put a few hours in the air with this device and found that I've added more information to the screen because it's fine to read.